The poem is about the beauty of the evening. So remember that Wordsworth was a great lover of nature, and he believed that God's presence is in nature. His companion, he's addressing his companion in the poem, is his daughter Caroline. And in this poem, he assures her that God is with her, even if she's not aware of it. Whenever you are asked about structure in a poem, the first thing that you should check for is whether this is a sonnet. So remember that you have been taught the two types of sonnet. The Italian sonnet, another word for the Italian sonnet is the Petrarchan sonnet. And the other type would be the Shakespearean sonnet. And this poem is an Italian sonnet. So please be aware of how it is structured. And remember that a sonnet always has 14 lines. So let's begin with the octave. A man and a girl are walking next to a calm and gentle sea. It is a beauteous evening, calm and free. So line 1 creates a peaceful and spiritual atmosphere. Free shows how the speaker feels completely stress-free in this beautiful environment. The pace, which means the speed of the poem, is slow and stress-free. The holy time is quiet as a nun. In line 2, there is a simile as well as a personification. Whenever you are explaining a figure of speech, it's very important that you explain what is being compared. So if you are asked to discuss the effectiveness of a figure of speech, you will start by explaining what is compared to what. That is a very important aspect. Remember that a nun is a spiritual person who is very close to God. So this imbues these lines with a sense of holiness, sacredness, and peacefulness. The tone is respectful and peaceful. Breathless with adoration, the broad sun. So line 3 is personification. The sun is being given the ability to adore. Make sure that you know what adoration means. To adore is to love, but to love with great respect and awe. Is sinking down in its tranquility. Make sure that you know the meaning of the word tranquility. It means peacefulness. And this line is describing the sun as it sets over the sea. The gentleness of heaven broods over the sea. So heaven will refer to God or the sky, and broods means watches over like a mother. Remember that word o'er in Old English would mean over. Listen, the mighty being is awake. So in line 6, the poet is now addressing his companion. And you know now that the companion is a child. And the companion is the daughter of the speaker. When we talk about being, in a literal sense, that will refer to the sea. But in a figurative sense, it will refer to God. Make sure that you understand the tone and how the tone changes in this line. And doth with his eternal motion make a sound like thunder everlastingly. The eternal motion is referring to the movement of the sea. So motion means movement, and eternal means that it continues forever. So at the same time, this also refers to God, the power of God that is seen through the power of nature. In these lines, the sound of the waves, which is now like thunder, contrasts with a calm feeling in lines 1 to 3. And now we come to the sestet. So remember, the sestet means the 6 lines. And when there is an Italian sonnet, there always is a change from the first 8 lines to the last 6 lines. There's going to be some type of change. In the sestet, he addresses the innocent child directly, that although she is young, she is close to God, even when she doesn't realize it. Be aware in these lines who the child is, that is his daughter, his companion, and using the word dear shows that she is very much loved by the speaker. In line 10, if thou appear untouched by solemn thought. Solemn thought would mean that she would be aware of the presence of God. Solemn would mean serious, so that she doesn't appear to be having any serious thoughts about the fact that she is in God's presence. She appears to be untouched by the presence of God and by the beauty around her. Thy nature is not therefore less divine. So even if she's not aware of God's presence, she is still holy and pure and a part of divinity. Thou liest in Abraham's bosom all the year. Abraham refers to God, and because she is a child, she is protected or loved by God. Wordsworth believed in the purity of children, and he believed that they were naturally close to God. And worshippest at the temple's inner shrine. The temple is referring to a temple found in Jerusalem, and only the high priest was allowed there. And he is saying in these lines again, God is with her all the time, even if she's not aware of it. Note how the tone changes slightly again. The tone is positive and confident. You need to be prepared to be able to answer questions about tone. Learners are frequently asked how the tone changes throughout the poem. So be aware of the tone in this poem because it does change. Be aware of how it changes and where it changes. And now we come to the themes. The first main theme in the poem is about the holiness of nature and how God can be felt through nature. And the other theme is about childhood, because children are pure, they are always in Abraham's bosom. So be aware of those 2 themes as you study the poem.